Welcome to Humanity Rising Tales. Please subscribe to my channel. Your one click keeps this universe alive. Folded hands. Adnan rubbed his eyes and checked the clock on his nightstand. 12:47 a.m. The knocking at his apartment door was so soft he almost thought he'd imagined it. Living in the outer colonies of Kepler 442b meant late-night disturbances were rare. Most of his human neighbors were asleep, and the local Zephyrian population kept to themselves. The knock came again, barely audible over the gentle hum of the atmospheric processors outside. Adnan pulled on a shirt and padded barefoot to the door, activating the external camera feed on his wrist display. What he saw made him blink twice. A tiny figure stood in the hallway, no taller than his knee. "Alvina," he murmured, recognizing her immediately. She was one of the Zephyrians from the apartment complex, her translucent blue skin pulsing with bioluminescent patterns that flickered wildly with anxiety. He'd seen her around for months but had never spoken to her. Zephyrians were notoriously private refugees from a dying world, grateful for sanctuary, but cautious to the point of isolation. Adnan opened the door and crouched to her level. "Alvina, is everything okay?" Her large opalescent eyes looked up at him, filled with desperation and embarrassment. When she spoke, her voice chimed softly like wind through glass. "Adnan," she whispered. I need help. I am sorry to disturb you at this hour, but I have nowhere else to turn." "Of course," he said without hesitation. "What's wrong?" She glanced nervously down the empty hallway. "May I come inside? It is sensitive." He stepped aside, and she scurried in on 4 delicate legs, moving with fragile grace. Adnan closed the door and gestured toward the living room. "Would you like some water?" he asked, then paused. "If that's okay for you. Water would be kind." "Thank you." When he returned, Alvina sat on the couch, impossibly small against human-sized furniture. Her bioluminescence had shifted to deep purple sadness, if he remembered the cultural briefings correctly. "I am dying," she said simply. Adnan nearly dropped the cup. "What? I should call medical." "No," she said quickly, raising a tiny hand. "Not dying as you understand it. My species has a biological requirement. Every few months we must synchronize." "Synchronize?" Her glow softened to a faint pink. "We share harmonic frequencies with another living being. It stabilizes our bioelectrical systems. Without it, we degrade and eventually fade." Adnan sat on the floor so he was closer to her eye level. "And you can't do this with other Zephyrians. There are only 12 of us in this colony," she whispered. "And I was exiled from my pod before we arrived. The others will not synchronize with me." The weight of her loneliness hit him hard. "That's awful. I'm so sorry. It was my own doing," she said quietly. "I questioned traditions, spoke against certain leaders, but principle does not stop the body from failing." Adnan leaned forward. "What do you need me to do?" Her patterns brightened with surprise and hope. "You would help me? Even though we have never spoken?" He gave a small smile. "You came to my door at midnight because you trusted me enough to ask. That tells me everything I need to know." She hesitated. "The synchronization requires physical contact and emotional openness. Many species find it invasive. I would place my hands on your temples and share our bioelectrical fields for 10 minutes. You would feel my emotions, my memories, and I would feel yours." Adnan didn't hesitate. "If it saves your life, then let's do it." Tears shimmered down her translucent cheeks. "Your species is remarkable," she whispered. "We were warned humans were dangerous." "We are," Adnan said gently. "Just not in the way you think." She stepped closer and raised her hands. "Are you ready?" He nodded and closed his eyes. The moment her fingertips touched his temples, the world exploded into sensation. He felt her terror of dying alone, the ache of exile, the crushing silence of being surrounded by beings who would not touch her. But beneath it all burned a fierce will to survive, to belong somewhere in the universe. In return, she felt his heart, his empathy for outsiders, his belief that no one deserved extinction in silence, his simple, stubborn human conviction that helping others was not heroic, it was just right. 10 minutes passed like a heartbeat and a lifetime all at once. When Alvina stepped back, her bioluminescence glowed warm gold contentment, gratitude, and something new, friendship. "Thank you," she whispered. "I will not forget this. Will you be okay now?" Adnan asked softly. "For several months," she said. "And perhaps I will find the courage to speak to the others. Your compassion, it was overwhelming. It gives me hope." Adnan watched as his tiny neighbor left, her steps lighter, her glow steady. Only then did he realize what had truly happened. Not just the saving of a life, but the building of a bridge. Humanity had always been called dangerous among the stars. And maybe they were. Dangerous to prejudice. Dangerous to isolation. Dangerous to the idea that anyone had to face their darkest hour alone. And perhaps that was humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy. Not technology, not ambition, but compassion freely given, even at midnight, when the universe felt coldest.